Hi, I'm Tristan Avakian. I'm the main guitarist of Ultimate Queen Celebration, starring Mark Martel. This is kind of a video companion to a piece that I wrote for Guitar Player magazine a while ago. There's a link in the description below. I get asked this a lot. How do you sound like Brian May? The answer is, I learned on the job. Queen hired me to be the lead guitarist for We Will Rock You in Toronto, and I went on to do over 1,500 shows in that production and 2 other subsequent productions in 4 countries around the world. Playing right next to Brian a few times helped too. I picked up a few things by osmosis. It's the 10 years, 10,000 hours thing. I don't really have to think about what I'm doing that much anymore. Even when I mess up, I sound like Brian messing up, which is convenient. But I don't take this lightly. On the contrary, as time goes on, I have more and more respect for what Queen accomplished, and I take the task of delivering this music very seriously. It takes a lot of concentration to do it right. That having been said, I don't really sound that much like Brian. What I've managed to do is make you think that you're hearing Brian, which is a whole other skill set in itself. It has very little to do with the gear, as I pointed out in the article. What I want to discuss here today is elements of his style: pitch, phrasing, and dynamics. A lot has been said about the sixpence that he uses for a pick, but that's actually a very small part of the sound. Mostly you hear it on his clean tone, and the way he gets that tone is by rolling off from the guitar, almost all the way off, which muddies up the sound a little bit. And what the sixpence does is it actually puts some of the treble back. As you can hear, you kind of find the sweet spot by experimenting with the angle. You can see, like, if you angle it slightly, the serrated edge of the coin grabs more of the string and it gives it that characteristic rasp. What really stands out to me when I'm playing right next to him is how much he plucks with his index finger. The way he does it is he kind of positions the index finger like above the fingerboard as if he's about to tap, and then he plucks upward instead. That gives it kind of a nice warm vocal quality. It like takes off some of the attack and gives it some envelope. Speaking of which, his vibrato is famous for his vocal quality. I believe this is because instead of just sticking a note and then applying vibrato over the top of it, he actually approaches the note from below. He pre-bends, only then strikes the note, and then applies vibrato. And that gives it kind of like a vocal crying quality, because instead of vibratoing the note sharp, he's actually vibratoing up to it from underneath. As a side benefit, if you release the bend while you're vibratoing, you get an incredibly expressive sound. Because you kind of hit all the semitones on the way down. This, of course, has been a staple in blues guitar for many, many decades, but he has kind of his own unique way of approaching it. So I suggest experimenting with that. Just kind of find all the blue notes in between the major third and the minor third, for example, or in the fourth and the fifth. Another hallmark is his use of chromatics. I think this stems from hearing a lot of clarinet when he was a kid. There's really no kind of exercise for this. I would just recommend taking a blues box and sticking in every passing tone that you possibly can. Like, here's your conventional. That's one of the passing tones with which we're familiar, right? Between the fifth and the fourth. Try to find some more. I'm never really sure where I'm going to wind up when I start doing this, which is one of the things that makes it exciting. And try some unconventional approach notes too, like try approaching the tonic from a half step below instead of a whole step. You can see how like a couple of times it sounded wrong, but as long as you have like a target note somewhere at the end of it, you're all right. And now onto his phrasing. He's justifiably famous for his sustain, but to me, one of the things that makes his playing so distinctive and attention-grabbing is the way he mixes up sustained notes with clipped ones, which to my ears gives the rhythm of speech. It sounds like he's actually saying something. One of my theories about electric guitar is that it lives in the same frequency range as the human voice, which our brains are constantly scanning for meaning. So if you think of a solo as a statement rather than a display of physical agility, you'll go a long way towards making yourself heard and felt and understood. You might not sound like Brian necessarily, but you'll sound more like you. And I think that's kind of where we're all trying to get to ultimately. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the road. Questions in the comments section will be cheerfully answered. Please like and subscribe for more.